Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and thank you again for joining us on the FAQ podcast. My name is Zakir Adams. We are at the Starlet venue, continuing a conversation we had over the last two episodes. Episode number 3, how to find a spouse and find love in Cape Town, South Africa. And we are talking about the subject with the director of Aspire Promotion, Abdul Basit Kolvi, and professional in his field of psychology, Imtiaz Hendricks. We're talking about the halal speed dating. We all know about the halal speed dating. Abdul Basit has been speaking to us last week, or the last episode, about the why. Why did you start the halal speed dating? Today we want to talk a little bit more about what's happening. What makes it halal and what's happening with the step-by-step guide. So Abdul Basit, talk us through that, maybe. How do we start? If I'm not interested, but hypothetically, if I was interested, how do I apply?
How do you apply?
Yeah.
So,
Hypothetically, Salama.
so Nakir, there are applications open for you if you're interested.
Moving on, Abdul Basit. Come on. Leave the guy alone.
Okay, so let me first say that the Halal Speed Dating program is only for singles at the moment.
Okay.
Right? And
So no person that's interested in a second wife.
not as yet. We're looking at establishing a program like
A
that.
separate program.
Separate program.
Okay.
Many inquiries.
Okay.
It's a demand.
From males.
Both males and females.
Oh, you see this?
In fact, females that attended our program that are single are even interested in being the second wives. So they wanting to merge over to
damn.
a new program.
That's
This
crazy.
is the reality that we're currently facing with today. So many inquiries that we find people don't know where to go to. So Alhamdulillah, with the Halal Speed Dating program, it opened up a platform for people to feel free, for people to have discussions about their journey, the previous journey of marriage and divorces and potentially finding companionship. So at the moment, for singles, males and females,
Okay.
and there's a screening process that we have for applicants.
Okay.
Right? We have a strict screening process where we have the background information shared in terms of what they're looking for as well in potential
Is this
spouses.
something also you ask on your application to ask for the applicant to be documenting a little bit about the past and so on?
Correct. So share a brief background upon yourself,
Okay.
your current age, your occupation, and also your preference of liking, for a male or for a female,
Okay.
whether the one older or younger.
Okay.
Sharing their previous marriage, status as well, whether they were divorced or widowed.
Okay.
And
So when they come, that information from the organizer's point of view, they have that information about the applicant.
correct. And then we also have a legal team on board.
Okay.
That facilitates all the other background checks that we do.
That seems extensive, eh?
Yeah, so the legal team is for safety of everyone that are obviously there to make sure that we don't have people with criminal records or
Okay.
people that has prior experiences or
The Tinder swindler. You heard about that guy?
yeah,
That was quite a hot topic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So those guys.
we've incorporated quite a lot of new elements to the background checks. And that's to ensure everyone that's are there that they are meeting genuine people,
Safe environment.
and in a safe space that they can trust that who they are speaking to, that we've done our checks on these individuals as well.
Yeah.
So once we review the application with a team of professionals, with the legal team as well, with scholars that we review the applications, and upon the application review, we then send them an approval of the
Okay.
application, whether it's approved or declined. Thus far, there were very minimum declined applications because of the criteria that they have not met. And once we send out the confirmation, obviously there's an admission fee for the program.
Yeah.
And each program differs, and it covers our cost for our team. And
Naturally, there should be a fee.
there's a lot of logistics. I know
Yeah.
we have a big team on the ground. We have speakers that are present, and we want to compensate them for their time as well. So there's an admission fee, and it differs from program to program, from city to city. Recently, we were in Durban as well. So
Okay.
that, admission fee was much more because of the costing for us to travel, from
Yeah.
Cape Town to Durban.
Yeah.
Likewise, with the planes going to other cities, the costing will be much more than Cape Town's costing. And that they will obviously receive on the application, you know.
Just in terms of the screening process, I know that a lot of other institutes that conducts this kind of workshops and events, they talk about you having a job, having a vehicle.
Yeah.
Yes.
They talk
I heard
about,
about that, right?
being a particular BMI, a particular weight that you have to
Yeah.
be at in order to be approved.
Yeah.
Has any of the participants mentioned that they would want people to have jobs,
So-
they want people to have vehicles,
Yeah.
your man especially?
Yeah, there has been inquiries regarding that. However, I feel that that discussion should be dealt with the participants themselves on the night.
So you
Yeah.
open it up, you
So you
don't
open it up,
exclude it to a working
you-
class
Yeah,
citizen.
it's open for anyone that can. That firstly, they need to have the intention of getting married. Secondly, they need to be able to sustain that marriage. You know, so whether they studying and doing part-time job, that discussion should be, discussed with the participants on the night. Whether the family is able to sustain them, support them, or whether they have a full-time profession job. I mean, everyone has different preferences. So I might find someone that doesn't have a job and studying, that I would maybe be interested in someone studying full-time and working part-time because I'm more focused on his career than his job. So everyone has different preferences. How
You
they
know,
look
there's
at
one
something.
very crucial thing that came to my mind now, right? I'm not sure if you ever came across this narrative before. And I don't want to, I don't want to make it about gender and male, female
Dynamics.
demeanors and dynamics. But one gentleman was saying that a man, he will take somebody that's working
I saw the video.
packing shelves or they're working regardless of where they are
He
working.
made the example of McDonald's.
I don't want to say to
Yeah.
discriminate a particular demographic, right?
Yeah.
But they're working very low income, very low paying jobs.
entry level.
And entry level. And he can be a CEO. And he will, without the blink of an eye, if that person has the character, the moral and ethical codes and the
beauty
and the beauty and the dean aspect, whatever, within a heart, he will not even think twice.
Yeah.
He will consider that person to be his wife.
Yeah.
Right? But the female's condition is significantly different. Right? If you are a top lawyer, attorney, or you're working for a particular corporate, or you are a CEO of a particular company, whatever it is, and you're well established, it's not to say that you will consider the similar criteria when selecting a man because he has dean, beauty, character. I mean, I don't know, maybe there are just some deany females that are on such a high level, like how say Khadija.
Yeah, definitely, eh?
Yeah.
So in terms of the criteria and the screening and the condition, I just thought that was a very interesting phenomenon. And I would like to know what would the responses be from Cape Town specifically, males and females. What is your selection criteria? Because I do know some of the feedback, right?
Yeah.
From in my private settings that I had with quite a few people, facilitation groups and coaching work. Female requires the man he must nafaka. He should be able to bring in the money. He should be able to have a vehicle. He can't use my vehicle all the time and he can't solely depend on me.
Yeah.
But the man has a complete different demeanor. I mean, that's based on my interaction.
So that's the majority.
The majority. I mean,
we have
maybe
to
there
make
are
the
outliers.
Yes, but we also have the option for the minority, and we accept and we speak that they also perhaps don't necessarily look at the material things that the guy needs
No,
to,
definitely.
have a full-time job.
Yeah.
Like I said,
There were one, I could say at least one out of every 3 or 4 females that I know of. I mean, I don't know, maybe there will be a different response.
Yeah.
Response.
People definitely feel differently. I think it's also based in your timeline of your life. If you have participants coming to the speed dating program and they've been through a marriage before, now we know that the criteria is even more refined. I won't even say higher, just refined. And that you have to, of course,
readjust.
you readjust to that, man. I spoke to this one girl years ago, one colleague of mine, and she mentioned you were saying about the money part, man, and she said security, man. So she said nah, she wants the guy that she has security. So I was like, just say money. It's fine. And I think that is something I think we should definitely.
Do you define security as money?
No, in many ways, what we're talking about, yes, in many ways, if we have money, not just in its physical form, but assets and things that are the networking systems and building a lifestyle that, if anything happens to me in this moment, I'm protected by step 2, contingency plan number 1, 2, and 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas that can come, generally, that comes to
Security does cover a bit of a wider range, right? In terms of a man being, he can have all the money, but is this man really, will I be part of that world?
That's also another crazy discussion.
You can have all the money, but maybe security would entail a bit of a
Look, just to
I have
come
all
back.
the money. I have all the money,
Yeah.
but I'm not happy in the marriage. That's something that we've experienced,
Yeah.
that I have experienced.
No, but what you're saying now is building criteria, man. What you're mentioning about
criteria.
building criteria, and what you're talking about with the speed dating and your screening programs and everything like that. What I'm saying is that what I love about what you're saying is that you opening up that discussion for people not to be shy about it. When you go into these, when meeting people outside of the ambiguous, and we just go to see how it is, we never know what that person really wants, man. And for everybody to walk into an organization like this and really know this is what I want. That's why you can even see why those other dating programs you're speaking about are specifically, what do they want? They want 1 car, they want 2 cars, they want a house. Do they want a house here and a house overseas?
Okay.
All of these things. So
Yeah.
you can see that caters a lot to specific groups.
Yeah.
But what I really like is that, and I think you mentioned it before, is that your program is not just targeted at the marriage aspect, but also at the coaching aspect, the life coaching aspect, and the discussions about the self and those type of things.
Yes. So what I would say, like based on that criteria you mentioned, right? I would say that criteria is suitable for a matchmaking program. So
Are you saying that your halal speed dating is not just a matchmaking
it's
program?
not a matchmaking program. Right?
Okay.
It's not a matchmaking program because we're not going to limit you on certain individuals. We are not professions in matchmaking.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
you find people that are qualified in that field, and therefore they would have certain criteria that was taught to them within their profession, within their learning or in the journey of educating themselves about the matchmaking world.
Yeah.
Whereas we had a 3-week course prior last month, which incorporates a matchmaking within the group that is currently
The workshop group.
within the workshop group itself, right? So that's a different type of matchmaking, whereas the broad understanding that people would find is matchmaking that I give my details and I would find someone suitable for you based on your credentials, or your
criteria.
Yeah.
that takes a lot of work and admin.
Yeah. Can
and
imagine.
You need a profession to actually do that.
Stuff through
There are scholars
participants.
in Cape Town that are part of the matchmaking program
Specializes in that.
that specializes in that. But once again, are you gonna allow your marriage to be fulfilled based on someone matching you and you don't know this particular person itself? Do you find that?
No, but I can
Do you find
imagine.
society accepting that more? And I think we're drafting away from that avenue because we feel that we need to have a say upon our own decision.
There's this conversation about globalization, man, and I'll take you through it very, very briefly. You have what we used to be as a community, culturalism, right? Or collectivism. In psychology, there's phenomena that is called collectivism and individualism, right? So because from the West, you base your life on, my opinion, what is good for me, what I need, etc. But moving away from our collective consciousness that we used to have, we have all of this trust in the community. My family that has the imam that directs particular things, and I put my trust in them.
Yeah.
Right? So then I marry into the family, they marry into my family. But now the conversation it's based on me and you and about that dynamics. Right? So when you talk about having an ustad or a teacher, right, or a family leader that is in that process, in that conversation of your marriage, you have so much trust in this, and you're willing to go forward with whatever they say. We don't necessarily live in that culture anymore.
Yeah.
And that is what I'm not to say maybe that is why we are struggling with.
No,
our
I would make
divorce
that
rates
statement.
and why we are Because
Out.
it's like you're not.
Because we don't have that guidance which we need, especially if you get older and parents, you know that you have to be guidance there for your children. If we don't have it and we live in that individualistic world, that's where we can deviate quite a bit. And I think that's what's beautiful about the coaching aspect of what you're talking about with the life coaching, is that there's a discussion of accountability, there's a discussion of joining and understanding that I'm not just here looking for someone perfect. I'm also talking about what can I do for myself, for myself to become that perfection.
Whoa. So you tapped on something there. And what I do know, right, what the course was promoting was all good and well. I need to consider, how do I find the perfect soulmate for me, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, we know of that verse. You'll find it on those cute little cards if you go into every wedding. You know, the verse is there with the Lindt chocolate. It's either Lindt or Ferocious. Right? And then you see that ayah there. But it's like, what does it mean? It means that we have created, right, spouses for you, and that you may find peace with each other. But we take that, so now the individual aspect will say, right, there was somebody created for me. So therefore, where's this person? How do I search? How do I find? But the duplicity of what is stated here is that I have been created for someone else. Do I consider, who am I for that person? So what I do know, right, and I'm not trying to amp up this 3-week journey that you went through, but it was like, as all good and well, I'm searching for someone for me, but how do I work on myself to such an extent that I become worthy of being searched for, so that I can fulfill that for someone else? But we don't have that side of the mirror.
Because we live, like you said, we live in a world that's individualistic. We just want to know about me and how things outside can benefit me.
Or maybe we should say, we just want to know about others, because that's most of our. We always
for me.
We're looking at other people.
Nafsi, me.
Allah.
How can you help me? How can you provide for me? How can you do things for me? And that's how the. And I know Coach Yumna, you know, in all of her sessions, because she deals with specifically females that were married, that are married, and now you have this collective group of women, and you know, what better space to give feedback from? So I recall in one of the messages that she mentioned to you, she said, all of these females, they come from the demeanor of, how's he going to do this? How's he going to do that? He has to do this. He has to do that. And it's just constantly directed towards my external locus of
expectation.
It's the expectation is high. But that's reality, Zakir, and that's the reason why we created this platform, right? Implementing the life coaching aspect as well. Like,
why do you point to me when you?
So this is where your profession, you know, your expertise comes, and Alhamdulillah, I've seen a great significance in the transformation of people's mindsets when they leave that program. They might have not found someone that they potentially have wanted to get married to, but they're leaving feeling much more uplifted, having a better vision and mindset for the future. And that's because of the life coaching element that's implemented in the program.
You know, what's crazy is that I know specifically someone also mentioned that they never found someone in your program, but they were able to find friends. Especially this was a woman's weekend. And what I like about that, man, we noticed in our communities.
You must be very specific when you say friends, no? Like,
no,
like friends.
No, like
female friends, like
friend. No, of course, no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No,
I'm saying, brother.
Sisterhoods and brotherhoods, and we have these communities in Cape Town, alhamdulillah. With I know Darren Naim have Light Upon Light, you know, and these lots of women groups that come together and they inspire each other, and they, you know, learn and grow and create programs. I think it's very beautiful, and I think
that's recreating the sense of collectivism, the sense of culture. Like this is my sister.
I did like how you took the whole thing and did a whole 360 and brought it back
come on,
to that point.
We're in the brotherhood establishment. So the reason I say that, it's because I have a group of sisters or a group of brothers, right, that I associate with. So you have this collective sense, you know, with your sisterhood, with your brotherhood. You're starting to build a sense of community. And now once you have that, I start trusting this space that I'm in, man. I trust what you are telling me. I trust your judgment. I'm connected as part of the whole. I've not withdrawn myself and isolated, because we're living in isolations and pockets, and it was very difficult, especially coming from the COVID time, and now we are here trying to reestablish and build that. So I just feel like that idea, that concept, you know, of collectivism, community, if we can build that up again. My parents are part of my journey, my experience, my community, my family, my brotherhood, my sisterhood, you know, and that is what was in the time of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They had that sense of community.
Definitely, definitely. I think that's what we established on, like, in the programs, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, that they have never met such beautiful souls. And where would they have met these people if it wasn't for the program?
Same journey.
Correct. And they're obviously sharing their own background with each other and trusting that we're all coming for one purpose, for one intention. And even if we don't find anyone, we're going home feeling like we made a friend, a brother, we made a sister. We felt much more uplifted and inspired through life coaching, through self-discovery. Perhaps now I need to work on myself more, present myself better, have much more to offer the next one as well.
Brilliant.
So this is all part of the discussion, if I may add, like when they actually meet each other on the night. The dynamics of what currently takes place on the evening, where you will have round 1 and you will have round 2. What discussions are covered in round 1, which is 3 minutes? What discussions are covered in round 2, which is 5 minutes? So there you share about your background.
The discussions, are there any guide with regards to what they discuss, or they just talking?
So we give them like cue cards to guide the conversations as per what you want.
Because I can imagine it would be quite a nervous thing to go through. You know, if you someone who don't maybe speak to a lot of people from the opposite gender, to sit there and then speak to a few of them.
Yes, and they'll just talk about whatever they want to talk about, not having an actual script or not having a end result of what we want them to, which is the marriage journey. So is your discussion valuable? You know, and that's where you get to share more background information about yourself in round 1, and we give you certain cue cards to guidelines on what to discuss, what to ask in that, and you're welcome to ask whatever questions you feel is necessary. And then in your round 2, you would have much more detailed questions about your goals, about your background in your religion, about where you see yourself in 5 or 10 years' time. So that conversation allows the next person to actually match and link and say, okay, this person wants to go on Umrah in 5 years. My plan was to go in 10 years. This can work for me, you know. But the one person would say, no, I would like to travel overseas to Mauritius. Mauritius, you know, it's something it was brought up in the discussions. And this one would say, no, I want to go to Thailand. Okay, you should like to travel. So this is something that they have in common, you know. And this allows you to find the potential spouse to see, is this a potential match for me? Is her career more based on the groundwork, a community leader, and my work is based in corporate? It's difficult to bring the two together, you know? Maybe it's not gonna work, maybe it will work, you know? So this is the conversations we allow them to obviously have alongside the life coaching element, the self-discovery workshop that we have in the program.
So what
as
I
well.
see is like a lot of what you're doing is almost a guidance, you know. So even if as a participant you're unable to finish your journey with the halal speed dating, there's been enough instilled in its formula to help you guide yourself in your own journey.
100%.
You know, because you know it's funny, like we can wrap up on this, guys. I have a few friends that they've been looking for partners for years. This is not. And then the funny thing for me is, I can imagine a lot of people have this story, like they get married to the girl opposite the road, or the girl that you worked with the mother. It's like, and then they went through like years and months of searching and dating and heartbreak, and then eventually you marry the girl opposite the road. You didn't even really take note. The discussion just came up. You know what I'm saying? So I think if the formula set in, you know, you don't know when you're gonna find your spouse.
That's how your story works. More of that.
So
time.
Guys, next time, shukran again for joining us on the FAQ podcast. Shukran, guys, again for being here. Next time, we'll be chatting a little bit more. In the next episode, we'll be chatting a little bit more with Brother Imtiaz with regards to life coaching and why and how it can be such an important subject inside this movement of the halal speed dating, or these type of, like
Finding
you mentioned, and what you mentioned at the end there was quite good, building these communities again, bringing people together to start
Yeah.
building cultural communities again.
Yeah.
And I think that's brilliantly said. So we'll catch you on the next one. Again, shukran for tuning in. See you then.